And I finally went to prison for 12 years for attempted murder. 7 years for attempted murder, 4 years for great bodily injury, and another year for gang enhancement. 1989, I believe, was the year I joined a gang at 10. My dad used to beat the shit out of me. So he's the first person that I wanted to kill. When my mom died on the phone with me, there was no I love you. There was no I miss you. There wasn't anything like that. It was just, she just wanted me to change my life. I got out with a passion and a purpose. So I had a passion and purpose for my freedom, and a purpose was to just stay out and to try to make as much as I could by helping people. So I've been making 6 figures for 15 years.
How long into your sentence did you realize I'm going to change my life?
I'm not just some tattooed missing tooth guy. I'm also the little kid that misses his mom.
Joe, welcome to Bear It All with Lindsey. You guys, I'm so excited for my guest. So I was on a Zoom, like a few weeks ago?
I think, about 3-4 weeks ago.
Okay,
yeah.
And with some really good friends of mine talking about an event we're going to do. And our friend Angela was like, you got to meet this guy, Joe. You guys have stuff in common. And then I heard a little bit about your story. And I was like, you have to come on my podcast. And you flew to LA to come on the podcast. So I'm so excited to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And I want to hear your story. So you did 12 years in prison.
Yeah, 12 straight years in prison, yeah.
Okay, so you got to take it back to the beginning. Tell me your story. I have to hear this.
Well, I was born in Romania, Timișoara, 1979. Ceausescu was the president. My parents wanted to come here to America legally, so it took a long time. So they applied for a visa. It took 7 years. I was born, and then we moved to Mobile, Alabama in 83. And then a year and a half later, I think we moved to Houston, Texas, roughly, because I was a kid. And then after Houston, Texas, we moved to Sacramento, California, in Oak Park. And in so I would say probably that was 86, if I'm not mistaken. And in 1989, I believe, was the year I joined a gang at 10. So I grew up with
Holy shit.
10 years old. So I didn't really know what gangs were. I just knew that I was very, very close with one of my friends. He was also at my party as well. And my dad was very abusive. He's an alcoholic. I try to justify why he was so abusive because he came from a communistic country, Eastern Europe. They do things and conduct themselves a lot differently than they do here in America.
Right.
So at 10, I joined a gang, and then at 12, I wanted to kill him. So he's the first person that I wanted to kill at 12 years old. So,
your dad?
My dad, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, first person, one of the last as well, too. So we never really had a very good relationship, but from the time I was 12 years old until I went to prison, I was in and out of juvenile hall, committed a lot of crime, more than I can count on. And then I finally went to prison for 12 years for attempted murder. And then
attempted murder.
Yeah, I tried to kill somebody.
And you were how old at that time?
I was 19 when I committed the crime, but I was 20 when I went in. So I committed the crime when I was 19, and then at 23 days later, I went in because I was on parole from the California Authority, which they no longer have. Apparently, they deemed it too violent. So
you were on parole at the time that it happened.
Oh yeah, I was on parole from the California Youth Authority for another crime I committed.
So you got attempted murder, and you get sentenced to, what were you actually sentenced to?
7 years for attempted murder, 4 years for great bodily injury, and another year for gang enhancement.
Oh, so they made you serve the whole time?
Well, 85%, but I kept getting into fights, and I was I wasn't a role model. I went from a level 3 to a maximum security.
Okay, so you got a time added in there.
A lot of time, yeah. And I caught 2 DA cases while I was in there, but the district attorney didn't want to pick them up because the prison that I was at, they were only picking up like murders and severe crimes.
So you get 12 years in prison.
Yeah.
So tell me about like that time in there. So it sounds like at first you were still like, fuck it, not ready to change your life, still living that same lifestyle. How long were you still in that same lifestyle in prison?
Oh, most of my time.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
I would say most of my time, because from the time I was 10, that's all I really knew. So you got to think about it. So you have a 10-year-old that how many kids you have?
I have 6, and I do have a 10-year-old.
Okay, so imagine your 10-year-old wanting to join the gang.
That's crazy.
And then imagine a 12-year-old finding a firearm and then pointing at his father or her father.
Right. But I do know, like in South Sac, there is a lot of that shit going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I try to explain that to people, but it's just, for them, it's kind of hard to fathom because nowadays they're too busy on their phone. They're too distracted with phones and like fake guns and fake video games. I didn't really have that as a kid. I was outside all the time, and I'd leave, come home whenever I wanted to. So I just wanted to get out of the house. So it was a very interesting upbringing. I thought it was very normal. So to me, it was very normalized.
Because it was normal to you.
It was very normal, yeah. Right. So most of the time,
people are a product of their environment. So when you're raised there, I mean, it definitely, South Sac and Oak Park, that's the norm there. It really is.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, have friends that still, a couple friends that still live there. And I remember I went and visited them there. And like, I was like, oh my God, this is a shithole. Like, I stopped at the little grocery store right there, and I was like, okay, like, I need to hurry the fuck up. I do not even want to be in this environment. But then that was the normal environment then, right? But when you take yourself out of it, it's so different. So, no, I understand. Like, that was the norm at that age.
Oh, absolutely. Well, at that age, for us, it was the norm. But
in that area,
in that area. For other people, it definitely wasn't the norm.
Right.
Like, our normal was trying to get out somehow. And then the norms that I find now, like the people that want to portray that they're in a gang, that's a little confusing for me because I thought the goal was to get out, not to portray to be something you're not.
Right. You know? So tell me about your time in there. So you're 19 years old. You're literally
20.
20. But 19 20. When the crime happened.
Yeah, the crime happened at 19.
At
I
19,
go in at 20.
20, you get sentenced. And so tell me about what it feels like sitting in there and they tell you you're sentenced to 12 years.
Wow. Well, at the time, I'm trying to go back, right? Because right now, like, I just came up on 15 years of being free, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day.
Congratulations.
So, 15 years
is
much longer than the 12. But if I were to take myself back at that time, I also found out that I had a son. So I have a son that's we don't talk, which I created the YouTube channel in hopes that he would see some of the videos, so letters to my son.
That's so cool.
So that's another story, but then I found out that I had a son. So I was angry. I was very, very angry, and I was a very violent person. I didn't know how to control my emotions. I didn't know how to actually think without actually reacting first.
Right.
So I was in an opportunity to be very violent, and I took advantage of it. Now, granted, prison, there's a politics, because I didn't run with the whites. I ran with the Mexicans. So in Oak Park, you had Mexicans and you had blacks. You really didn't have. Oh, there was another Romanian family, and that's it.
Okay.
That was it. So
right.
You're not going to be a skinhead in Oak Park. I'm sorry.
No, I totally get it.
And I didn't speak English that well, so English is my second language. I speak Romanian, and then Romanian is Latin. So we related on that. So being in prison as a Romanian in a Mexican gang was definitely interesting. I didn't really have any lash from it or anything, but very violent. So I remember seeing a guy get thrown off the tier in Tracy, which Tracy is no longer around. I did a podcast there because I try to visit all the prisons that I was at and do a podcast there.
Oh, you got to tell me about that here when we get to that part.
There was an incident in Tracy because Tracy's so old. That's why it shut down. I'm not
sure.
It's very, very old. There was a situation in there where I had to take a shower, and I was thinking to myself, are we taking a bath or a shower? Because the water was just so full. Like, it was just like, it was up to like, it
wasn't draining.
It wasn't draining. It was just very dirty. And I remember walking past this guy that was just kind of hovering on the on the water. Just in prison, you don't really ask, is he okay? Out here, you see a body and you're like, oh my God, let's check on him. In prison, you just walk over him. If you don't know him, you just walk over him. And I've seen that so many different times where like people would just pass by me because they had to go attack somebody. It happens all the time.
Yeah, my sister's a prison or a CO.
Oh, right.
So I hear stories.
Oh, where's she a CO at?
Folsom.
Oh, a new Folsom or old Folsom?
I think she's a new.
Okay,
yeah.
so the maximum security one?
Yeah.
A, B, and C yard? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different way of living. It's much different than who I am today. Like back then, I was more interested in taking lives.
Doesn't it feel like it's like not even this lifetime ago? Like, do you feel like that? I feel like that. When I think about my addiction, it was 10 years ago. It was like a different lifetime. Like, it doesn't even seem like it was me. It's like I was having like an outer body experience or something because it was so different. Like I'm so different today that I can't even, like my thinking now, I can't even connect with the person that was in that mindset, with the person that was homeless, drug addict, 6 months pregnant, doing dope with a baby in her stomach. Like that person, I don't even know her. Like it's hard to connect. So do you feel like that with that old person, the old Joe that was violent, that was in prison, that was like that?
Sometimes when I do my speakings, I have to connect back to who that person was. I do speakings and there's a surge of emotion that comes out, and I have just learned to just let it go. So if I have to tear up, I tear up. But for a long time, I wasn't allowed to express my emotions at home, in prison. Love, caring, compassionate, those qualities aren't revered in prison. Those qualities aren't really going to get you anywhere. And then I came out here with those same qualities that I learned, and it didn't necessarily fit the mold of being in a relationship either with another woman. So I read a lot of books on financial wealth, freedom. I'm very stoic, so I'm huge into stoicism. So I read all of these things to change my mind frame, but I spent no time in like relationship development.
And did you read those things in prison or outside of prison?
I still read those things, in prison.
So you started reading those in prison, and at what point in those 12 years did you ever in prison say, okay, this is enough, I don't want to waste the rest of my life, and I want to change my life? Did that happen in prison or outside?
No, that happened in prison. One instance that I've talked about on a few different occasions, when I was in prison, there was an individual that needed to come to the cell, and he didn't belong on the yard, right? So my group I didn't really ask what he did. You don't really ask what. So I was the one that had to take care of him. In that process, it didn't really matter how I took care of him, whether I killed him or whether I just beat him up. It didn't really matter. But the type of person that I wasn't just going to beat him up. And it was just me and him. And you had the gunner, and you had a rotunda door that was open. For those of you that did time, for those of you that don't, that just means it's a door. You have a gunner, you have an open door, and another open door. All the other cells on a 180 are locked. So that individual is going to come through a certain path. There's no getaway. There's no I didn't do it, because it's just a couple doors open and the gunner's looking at me, and I was just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. And then the rotunda door closes, and I'm thinking to myself, what's going on? It's like, this normally doesn't happen. And he never came. And then my door closed, and I just dropped to my knees, and I started really thinking about what the fuck am I doing? Like I started crying, because I really didn't love myself. It's somebody asking you, hey, this person has to go. We don't really care how, but you need to make it happen. Because if you don't, then you're gonna go. That's just the way it works. But that's love. That's crazy. Taking somebody's life shows that you care about, the cause.
In their mind, in their sick, twisted thinking, that's love to them, right? That's you showing love for them. They're a product of their environment. They've been raised that way. That's their whole lifestyle.
It's also what I signed up for too. It wasn't like I said, hey, I don't think I want to do this anymore.
Right. You signed up for it. I get it.
Yeah, I was also participating in these things as well too.
So if that guy would have walked, he would have came.
We wouldn't be here right now.
Right. You would have gotten life.
I probably would have died. I would have died because the gunner probably would have shot me.
And so at that point, though, you were fine with that. You were like, I don't give a shit. You didn't see a future. You didn't anything. So that was God working in your life, or your higher power, whoever your higher power is, for sure, working in your life. Thank God he didn't come.
That's just one moment of many, but that was a really pivotal one for me right there. And then I really didn't have any direction. I didn't have a mentor because I was 20. I want to say I was 23. A close friend of mine, he said all this dude wanted to do was just listen to Eminem and stab people, because Eminem was big at the time, so early 2000s.
Yeah.
I went in 99, so 2000,
oh,
2001,
yeah, for sure.
2002.
Right.
And I was just listening to Eminem, and like even my cellies had a hard time talking to me sometimes, like because we'd be on lockdown for a long time. Longest time I spent in the cell was 2.5 years straight. And then we just,
shit.
So you get to know your cellies, and sometimes we'd wrestle and we just end up getting into a fight, and then for fun.
That's wild.
I laugh about it now, but I couldn't see myself wanting to be violent with anybody anymore, because the level of violence that I'm used to isn't the level of violence that would be appropriate out here, and there's no way that I could ever turn back from it. Like, I do everything in my power now not to be violent, and I work on it a lot because I still go out. So I go out to clubs, or if I want to go out to a bar. It took me a long time after I was out of prison to even feel comfortable putting myself in that situation, not knowing if I can
Really?
control myself. Yeah. It's one thing to disassociate from things or from alcohol or drugs if people have an issue with that. It's another thing to be around it and know that you have so much control over this thing that you can still be around and not do anything. Just
Right.
because I enjoyed violence.
Okay.
It wasn't that I didn't enjoy it.
Okay. I
Some
mean,
people,
so you enjoyed
yeah.
it. That's so wild.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
mean, I could see it. There's people who, like, when I was in my addiction, I enjoyed getting fucking loaded. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. So at how long into your sentence did you realize I'm going to change my life? And what did that look like, right? Because if you're running with the gang that you're running with in
Yeah.
prison, how hard was that to let them know, like, hey,
I didn't let anybody
this is
know.
not me. Okay, so tell me about
That's
that.
a good one.
You're like, I didn't
don't.
fucking tell nobody. You're tripping.
Yeah. Well, Warren Buffett, right?
I do.
It's funny that he would say something like this, but Warren Buffett said, if you have an idea that's going to make so much money, why are you going to advertise it? It diminishes your idea. I had an idea and I knew that it was going to work, and why diminish my idea? Or why tell people that won't even understand?
That is exactly what I was thinking. They
So what's the
fucking won't
point?
support you. They won't understand. They won't
Yeah,
any
so
of it.
I mean, there's people like that in my current life right now where I try to help them, and if I find something out about anybody, I don't tell them. I just hold on to it, and I just sit on it. And I've always done that. I just sit on information until I need to use it. Because in prison, you sit on information until you need to use it.
I'm sure.
So out here, the tactics that I learned in prison, I still use out here. It's just in a different way. So what did that look like? I had no idea. I knew that I was dyslexic, and I taught myself how to read and write through writing letters. And
That's awesome.
yeah, I used to have my friend proofread my letters, and it was so bad that he just couldn't stop laughing. He said, "You can't send that out. No, that makes no sense. Your letters are crooked." And I said, "Well, that's just what I see." So when I was 13, I started to read and write because I was incarcerated. So I was incarcerated
Right.
most of my life from 12 on.
Right.
So I learned how to read and write in there. And because I was so adamant about not wanting to be dyslexic, and I also stuttered, and I wanted to fix all these things on my own, that I read. So I got a dictionary, I got a thesaurus, I got a Romanian English dictionary. I taught myself how to read and write in Romanian as well, and I used to write my mom. And then I just came across like an entrepreneur magazine, and then Success magazine. So those two magazines definitely, I would say, probably saved my life the most, because back when I was in High Desert State Prison, I read an article that in 20 years, the biggest boom in America or in the world is going to be wellness. And one of those was a personal trainer. This was back in the early 2000s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I kind of gravitated towards that. And I had my sister send me a book on personal training, so I read that. And then in there, it said, if you are good at these topics, you'll do well as a trainer. I got all books on those topics, and I read them all. And then I had like anatomy charts and nerves and bones. So I just studied. I always read and studied. I didn't know that was going to lead to like books like Napoleon Hill or As a Man Thinketh by James Allen or John Maxwell. So I just
All good
read.
books.
I read, and I wrote. I would write letters to my son at least every other day. And then I would write letters, some of them like 26 pages. I love to write.
And this is why you were still in, right?
This is while I was still in, yeah.
Yeah.
I read. Well, I mean, I spent most of my time in prison in a cell, not out.
Right.
So there's
you
different.
had nothing but time.
I had nothing but time, and I used it. But I mean, so did everybody else. So I didn't
Right.
drink in there. I made Pruno to sell because I wanted to make money.
Right.
I didn't really use like heroin. I wasn't an addict. I didn't use heroin or needles or anything, and I stopped smoking as well. because marijuana I found were making me very paranoid, so I didn't like that.
Oh my God. I used to get so paranoid when I'd be high. Ugh, it's the worst.
So through these books, I would say Think and Grow Rich is probably the most powerful book.
I love that one.
Because he interviewed so many successful people before he wrote that book. So then I started to think, well, I haven't been out of prison for me to know what that looks like. So I'm going to use the people around me and ask them questions because they've been out and they keep coming back. And they've been out and they keep coming back. So I said, if he did it, well, maybe I should do the same thing. So I would just find people that kept coming in and out. And but can I ask some questions? So I found out why they kept coming in and out. Drugs, alcohol, lack of stability, no direction, no purpose, no support. They didn't have anything, and they were going right back to the streets with the same mind that they were just in. And I seen so many people like zoomed in on television, wasting their time. They were getting high and drunk before they went home. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way that you're going to leave tomorrow and be a different person when I'm struggling to change and to do away with all of these things that I love to do, like violence. Like I struggle to not be violent.
When you say you love violence, you loved violence. Did you did you get a high from it? Like, tell me about that, because I've interviewed a lot of people and I hear I love, getting high, love alcohol, sex addiction, all these, but I have not came across somebody who loved violence. Like that was something they enjoyed. Tell me about that a little bit.
Well, I went to prison for attempted murder.
Right.
There's a lot of things that I've never been caught for.
But you got like an actual enjoyment out of it. Like you enjoyed it. It was a high. Like you got a dopamine hit from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything to incriminate myself. But,
no, you're good.
But yes, the things that you see on television, like when somebody gets stabbed or shot, that's not real. It doesn't really happen like that.
It's definitely a disassociation of your emotions for sure.
I mean, my dad used to beat the shit out of me. No man has ever beat me like my dad.
So you started disassociating your feelings early on. So
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. It's one thing to like watch MMA. I don't get an enjoyment from it anymore just because I disassociated so much from it.
Yeah,
that I choose not to watch things like that. I have a friend that's a few friends that box. One's a pro fighter. It's not something that I'm not into it anymore. I've lost count on how many fights I've been in. I black out most of the time. One time in prison, I almost got shot because I didn't want to get off this individual, so I had to get drug off of him. But the guards, they pulled out the Mini 14, and I was going to get shot. There's been many times in prison where I was going to get shot because I just didn't want to stop. Like I just didn't want to stop. There's no off button, and I know that about myself. And if you know something about yourself, also too, I don't have the luxury that a lot of people here have. Like I have 2 strikes. I'm not playing with my life because somebody wants to pick an argument or their feelings got hurt, or because they're having a bad day, or because they're an addict or drunk and they can't realize their own stupidity.
Of life. Why would you give it up?
Yeah, so I have to make decisions for other people, and I knew that when I was in prison. I had to make decisions for them because they were being stupid. I didn't drink. I didn't do drugs. I didn't watch television. I was so different towards the end of my sentence. And then when I was in San Diego at Donovan State Prison, that's where my mom died. And that was probably a catalyst. Like I've always been into fitness, but that was a catalyst for me. When my mom died on the phone with me, there was no "I love you." There was no "I miss you." There wasn't anything like that. It was just, she just wanted me to change my life. Like they came here to give us freedom, and I literally squandered it away from the time I was 12 until I got out of 32. You know how bad that makes me feel? That she didn't see me who I am today. It's a fucked up feeling.
I feel like she probably still sees it though.
And I still had 3.5 more years. And after she died, I probably got so involved in fitness, and I read so much, and I probably wrote the most I would rewrite the books that I was reading, and I would try to dumb it down and hand out pieces of paper in prison so that they can understand it. Like I did
That's pretty
everything.
awesome.
I did everything in my power to try to help in there.
So did you have like people that tried to retaliate on you because you didn't want to work with them anymore or run with them? They just left you alone?
No, I still ran with them. I still had to do jail stuff.
Oh.
I didn't say I was an angel.
Oh, okay.
I never, that never came out of my mouth. I never said that I was good. I just wanted to change, but I'm still
so you still
in prison.
had to live that lifestyle, but you were preparing yourself for the outside. So tell me about
Mentally,
what it was. Right. Tell me what it was like when you got released.
When I was excited. My sister picked me up in a car that I told her that I would have. It was a white Dodge Challenger, and that was the car that I wanted to get while I was in prison, and I own that. I own two of them. I don't have them anymore. I gave one to my ex-wife, and then I sold it, the other one. She picked me up, so I had $2 gate money, $200, and 30 of it went for a ticket because I needed a bus ride.
Gate money, they give you money when you get out.
$200, yeah. So I had $200. And 30 of it went to a ticket. My sister picked me up. We get on the plane. We land. I go to Joe's Crab Shack in Osac, and my son's there, family members.
Oh, you've seen your son. Okay, I was going to ask about that.
I did, yeah. He was 12 at the time, so he met me at the airport. I wrote him every day. Remember, I wrote him.
Yeah, that's right.
I sent drawings, letters. He probably has thousands of letters from me. I don't know if he still has them, but so what was it like? It was amazing. I was on a high risk parole, so I was on an ankle monitor. I knew that I had to get a job, so my parole officer said I had to get a job. I said, well, I created a job. It's called Bad Boy Cleaning. It's a cleaning service where I go clean houses. Clothes are optional. Read between the lines. And he started laughing. He goes, what? I said, yeah, you told me to get money. I created it because I read Entrepreneur Success magazines. I wasn't going to get a job.
Wait, tell me about this cleaning company that you created. Is this real or you were joking?
No, I was dead serious. Yeah, it's
and
called Bad Boy Cleaning.
Are you the one cleaning naked or?
Yeah. Yep.
Shut up. Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
tell me about it.
He didn't believe me. And he also didn't know if I can do it because I was on an ankle monitor. So like they can trace to see how many different houses I would go to. Like I was on parole, high risk parole, not just parole. Like I had to get, I couldn't go past 50 miles.
Yeah.
But I knew that I wanted to make money and I wanted to make it legally. So
Okay.
I had to purchase a special business license. And then I was doing that for quite some time. And then I went to college.
So what were you in? Hold on. I want to know more about this.
Oh.
So were you like butt naked or?
If that's what they wanted, yeah.
Okay. And did you actually clean?
If they wanted me to, yeah. I mean, that was it was still a cleaning service, so.
So, butt naked cleaner with an ankle monitor.
Yep, the Bad Boy Cleaning. Don't get no more. Don't get no more.
Oh, that's right. It's bad boy. Okay, so women like that. I mean, I was a stripper for years.
Yeah,
I went
and
and applied at the strip club the day I turned 18.
Yeah.
I was a stripper for years. I was an escort when I was in my addiction. So that's why I was like, oh my gosh. And now I have a cleaning company. I've had it for years, but when I first started my cleaning company, I'd always get people to, when I actually cleaned myself, asking if I would do it topless and all of that. And I definitely thought about it, but I was like, maybe I don't live like that anymore. But that's
well, I did
cool.
research on it. And I wasn't tech savvy, so I didn't know how to use the internet. So I had help. And one of my friends at the time, he helped me with it. I ended up leaving him the business. I don't know what he did with it, and then I wanted to get women on. I had business cards with men and women so I can attract both. But nowhere in Sacramento did they have anything like that. They have things that women would do, but not men.
Right. That's
so
what he said that. I was like, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, so there's an opportunity there.
There's definitely an opportunity.
So I got it approved. So I wasn't going to let anything stop me. And then I went to college and I had to get permission to go to college because I was on an ankle monitor. And I had to talk my way into that, but I had a list. Like I had goals. I had 15. Like I had an agenda to become successful, to get off of parole, never go back to prison. And I was relentless. Nobody was going to tell me no. Like even when I applied for 24, I didn't have a certification, and I interviewed very well. You got to think about some of the interactions that I had in prison were to negotiate people's lives. You think I'm going to let some interview or some person ask me questions about anatomy and physiology that I read and I studied for years? You think that's going to intimidate me? Like, he's just another man just like I am. So it's kind of hard for me to be intimidated when I went through some shit that should be really intimidating. So interviews to me aren't really a big deal. It's just talking about things.
Right.
So I didn't have a
Same.
certification. I didn't have a piece of paper that said that, I was a certified. So I went home, I found one online, I took it, I brought it back in. I said, here's your paper. He said, he's not nationally recognized. I said, look, you said that I interview well, you like me. Your fitness manager says I'm the smartest person he's ever met. What's the problem? So I had to train a district manager, and then he was like, I'll just hire him. So I got a piece of paper approved. Now that same piece of paper is nationally recognized. So before people get on the bandwagon, a lot of innovative people are already there. And I recognized that a long time ago. Even in prison, I was doing things that people in there weren't doing, interviewing people, and they thought I was crazy. But the recidivism rate in prison is very high. And after a certain amount of years, it gets lower and lower, that your success rate to stay out, and not just stay out, to thrive.
Right. I agree. I mean, addiction's the same way.
Yeah.
The addiction and alcoholism, like, unfortunately, look, if you're in I tell people, when you're in a room with other addicts and alcoholics, look to your right and look to your left, because only one of you are going to make it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The other two are going to go back out.
Yeah. So,
and it's got to be the same thing with that lifestyle.
Well, it is too, except mine, there wasn't another chance. Like,
Right.
all the crimes that I committed were sober. And I know a lot of people commit crimes under the influence. That wasn't me. Like, the group that I ran with, we didn't really revere people that did drugs. We looked at them as like low lives. Like, you're a drug addict, you're a dope fiend. Like, how are you going to be in a gang and think clearly?
Right.
And really call yourself a gang member when you're just too busy chasing the next high? So the people that I grew up with, we didn't really look at people like that and be like, oh, I want to be like that. We were on a mission to create a name for ourselves,
right,
through extreme violence. And everybody goes to prison for different reasons. Like, there's level 1s, level 2s, level 3s, level 4s. There's a shoe, which, in Pelican Bay, I heard that they did away with it. So all indeterminates went just to regular population. The life that I lived wasn't normal, and it was extreme violence, that was my addiction.
right.
Some people's addiction was drugs and alcohol. That's never really been my thing. In terms
That
of like
makes
it being
sense.
a problem,
Right.
it's not a problem, because
Right.
I don't really get like it. It's nice, it's cool. I can do away with it. I can have it from time to time, but it's not something that I absolutely need. What I do need is my freedom and money. Because without money, I don't have the type of freedom that I imagined in prison.
Yeah, money is a tool. Money is the tool for the lifestyle, for sure.
I mean, it got me the opportunity to come down here. Like, I would miss out on a lot of opportunities if I didn't have the freedom or the wealth that I've created for
100%.
myself, and I do it through helping others.
I love that. So tell me a little bit about your life now. You've been out 15 years.
Yeah.
And I've heard how incredible you are. So you've definitely made a name for yourself. So tell me a little bit about your life today, what that looks like.
I work at a facility called G-Force, formerly known as Self-Made. And then I'm the head trainer there. Prior to that, I guess I can start with my career in fitness.
Yeah,
So while I was in prison, I needed to figure out what I was going to do legally. Remember, legally.
Right.
Because I also ran drugs for the cartel as well when I was out.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
can't do that.
So I remember I told you I've been in Compton and Watts, right?
Right.
So I've been in Beverly Hills. Rodeo Drive just came from there, but I've also been in Compton and Watts.
Got it. Now that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So running drugs for the cartel is very exciting to me. Well, not anymore, but it was. We're talking a long time ago. This is the 90s. So
Sure.
90, 98, 99. Getting out of prison, I got out with a passion and a purpose. So I had a passion and purpose for my freedom, and a purpose was to just stay out and to try to make as much as I could by helping people. Zig Ziglar said, the more people you help, the more you can help yourself.
I love that.
And I actually took that and ran with it, because for a long time, all I did was hurt people. And if I can hurt people with that same intensity, I want to help people with that same intensity. It's the same intensity. The negative intensity that I had, the passionate and caring and wanting to help, is the same intensity.
Right.
Still got to be focused. I still got to be committed. Sometimes days are going to be harder than others, and I got a job as a trainer. So I got bad boy cleaning because I needed to make money. Like, I don't want to ask people for help. But then I knew that I couldn't do that forever because I wasn't going to help anybody. It was just entertainment, and I knew that.
Right.
Training was something that I knew that I wanted to do because that saved my life in prison. And that was a catalyst after my mom died. She wanted me to just change, and I did. So I used fitness and I used education to change my personal life, and I knew what it did for me. So I got so addicted to training and fitness that I would put on like different fitness events for people, and I got really into it. So I got out here and became a trainer. I started at 24-hour fitness, and every year I got promoted. So in 3 months, it would take for me to get to about over 10 grand in sales in every facility I've ever been to. And that's not a feat that anybody can do. I've been doing this for 15 years, so I've been making six figures for 15 years. And in every single facility, because I've been in a lot of them, I would just repeat the same thing. In prison, you got to know humans.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's no way that you're going to survive in prison without understanding humans and the bullshit that they feed you. If somebody's going to tell you a lie, you got to be able to tell signs. They fidget, mannerisms, or eye contact. They breathe differently. They avoid eye contact. There's just a number of different things that I learned in prison that I can just read a bullshitter a mile away.
I feel like I can read a bullshitter a mile away too. And I use that. I mean, even being a employer when I'm interviewing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like a mile away, I'm like, oh yeah, they'll last, they won't last, they'll make it, they won't, because you can read people. It's a talent.
Well, it's not that I can read people, it's that I'm aware and I pay attention. So we lie with our mouths, but not with our habits. And human behavior is nothing more than a habit. So in prison, I got really good at spotting a lot of things and spotting if I'm talking to somebody and if they wore glasses. I can see if people were coming behind me. I prefer certain things. And out here, I can predict if somebody's going to make it as a trainer very, very quickly, or I can see certain changes and tides. And they can lie to you all they want with their mouth, but long before an addict is an addict, the whole room knows it. Long before somebody realizes with themselves that they're not good.
They're the last ones to realize.
Yeah. So long before anybody knows, they're the last one to know.
100%.
Because it's denial, it's justification, it's entitlement. I feel like I'm better than I really am. But if you stop and look about it, denial is just, it's a motherfucker.
Right.
So I went through these different facilities. I started off at the one at Micron, being that you're from SAC. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Then I went to Fulton and Hurley as assistant fitness manager.
Okay.
Went to the one on Sunrise as a fitness manager. Went to the one at Roseville as a fitness manager. I just kept moving up every single year. The pandemic happened. I opened up my own gym, Iron Flex Fitness, with a business partner. That didn't necessarily, it didn't work out. Same thing, reading people.
Was that the one in Roseville?
No, that was the one in El Dorado.
One.
Yeah, El Dorado Hills. And then,
okay.
Yeah, so we had a falling out. I went to a different facility, and then Kenny, the one that owns G-Force, then Self-Made, approached me, and I walked it before like any of it was even there, as a referral. So I'm just well known in the area. I've been doing it for a long time. I don't just bounce around from job to job.
Right.
Fitness is my life, and I'm going to continue to pursue it. Also created a course online now, so there's an online course that I created.
That's smart.
So it's it's patent. So Iron Flex Fitness, it's a patent. It's copywritten.
And do you have funnels? So you have funnels going with it.
I do,
courses.
Yeah.
Nice, smart.
Yeah.
Is it like a subscription based or a one-time purchase?
It's a one-time purchase. So I understand that I've been exchanging time for money for a long time, and I knew that the true
exchanging time for money. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. Like, people try to impress me with how much they make an hour, and I'm like, that still doesn't impress me because you're doing the same thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
We're just exchanging time for money. So I'm trying to create different avenues to not exchange time for money, to true wealth and freedom. If you're attached to the business, that's not an asset. That's a liability.
Mm-hmm.
You buy vehicles and you're struggling to pay rent, but you're still out there partying and drinking and expressing that you're living your best life when you're struggling. You got to look in the mirror and tell yourself if you're really living your best life, not me. I know that I'm living my best life because where I came from, I'm doing pretty good. Am I doing great? No, because I'm hard on myself. I'm probably doing better than a lot of people, but I'm still not happy and I'm still not where I want to be.
Well, you want to stay hungry. right? It's a fine line. I do that with myself. There's a fine line of like, I'm proud of myself and pushing myself. Like,
Yeah.
being, stopping and going, okay, look how far you came. But no, like we have a lot more, we need to go way further. So you had mentioned about going back to like prisons and places
Yeah.
doing podcasts. Tell me a little bit about that.
The only place that I haven't went to yet was a high desert. But I was in San Diego for my friend's birthday, and I also wanted to make sure that I got down to Donovan State Prison. That's where I lost my mom. But I didn't get much sleep the previous night. It was a party, so I think I took like a 2-hour nap. And me and my friend Ina, she was like, "Sure, you want to do this?" And I was like, "I mean, I'm here." You know what I mean? Like I'm always
Sure.
telling people to show up and and just be present. And this is where I'm at. So let's just start rolling.
Right.
So we rolled, and I probably want to go do it again because I want to speak a little bit more.
Do you go inside the prison?
No,
and speak?
outside.
So you go
Outside.
outside
Yeah.
and then do a podcast and like a vlog or something
Correct.
from there.
Yeah, yeah,
That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's all on my YouTube
Yeah.
channel. Yeah, so it's that came across because me and my friend Miles, we came back from a rave, and I'm talking to him. It's like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and then I just kind of go on a rant, and I was like, "You think somebody would actually listen to some of the stuff I had to say?" And he was like, "You lived a very interesting life. Like the person that you are now, there's so many different sides to you. Like you don't really say no to a lot, but you don't associate to any one of those things. Like I never call myself a bodybuilder. I don't call myself a trainer. I don't call myself a speaker. Like I do public speaking, but I don't present myself as like I'm a public speaker.
Sure.
I have a story and I got some things to say, and I've overcome some stuff more than just my latte wasn't to my liking. That's not overcoming anything. Like I overcame something that I could have died in, and I still feel like I'm a failure in terms of like a son and a father. But I'm not going to attach myself to that. I'm an ex-gang member, but I don't present myself like an ex-gang member because I still associate with some of my friends that were ex-gang members. I'm all of those things and none of those things.
Sure.
I feel like we got too many titles that, I'm this person, I'm that person, I'm this person. Why can't we just be who we really are, genuinely? As long as you don't want to hurt anybody. I still work on that every day.
No, man. Hey, it happens. We all have struggles. That's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah,
What an incredible story in life.
So I go to these prisons to reflect. Like I've been to Preston, I've been to Mill Creek, I've been to Solano, and I go and I don't know what I'm going to talk about because there's so many. I mean, these videos are only 15 minutes. So how can you take a 15-minute or 8-minute video and condense that into? I was in Tracy for just 3 or 4 months, and in Solano for about 1.5 years.
Do you talk about your time in there? Like
Yeah.
when you go to a certain location, so you talk about, I'll have to watch some of those tonight. So you talk about like what it was like at that time. And
certain things that happened, my experiences with them, because sometimes my current clients don't know that side of me. They just see me as this person that read a lot of books that, can figure things out, doesn't really take things personal. I'm very stoic. Don't talk about feelings around him because he's going to hit you with some stones. So, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Like I cry, I feel, but I'm not governed by my feelings. I'm governed by what the things that I should be doing, which is why I show up every single day. I mean, I've been training 6 days a week, and I have anywhere from 12 to 13 clients a day as a trainer. And if any trainers are listening out there, most trainers are struggling to have 4 clients a day. 5, and they're like, "Oh, I'm feeling overwhelmed. This is too much."
right.
Well, maybe you're in the wrong line. Maybe you're just doing it for money, or maybe just do it better, or maybe you're not that good.
See, that's when you make good money at something, when you're not doing it just for the money. When you do it for just the money, you don't tend to get successful with it. But if you're not doing it just for the money, you end up making really good money doing it and loving it.
Yeah, I mean, 15 years is a long time. So I got the experience, I got the book smarts. I've had countless certifications. I've been a part of a few of them that people needed to be certified in, and I've just made a lot of connections along the way. And then I had a client, and she goes, "You ever thought about like putting all this together, all this information you have, and for other trainers? Because like you have a process to everything. Most people don't get out of prison and thrive. They're just trying to like get some type of job and just
Right.
cut some boxes and call it good."
Oh, yeah.
And just go ahead and take a check. And I'm like, I'm not just taking a check. And like, I knew that the W-2s that I were making, even though it said that I was making an X amount, I was like, man, they sure take a lot in taxes.
Yeah, they do.
So I stopped and thought about it, and then when I talk to people, they say they make 6 figures. I'm like, but you don't take home 6 figures. There's a difference between like taking home in your pocket and actually having that as an asset, like
there is.
liquid, and just claiming that you do what you do. So I was like, well, maybe I should create other revenue sources. So then I started to create other revenue sources as well too.
So you have your course. Tell us about your course and how to find it.
It's online. You can just Google it. Iron Flex Fitness Coaching.
Iron Flex Fitness Coaching.
Coaching,
okay.
yeah. So if trainers are interested, or if people are interested in becoming a trainer, but not just becoming a trainer, making 6 figures.
Becoming a successful trainer.
I mean, and I understand 6 figures is only $100,000, but I'm talking about upper 6 figures. So I've been doing, 6 figures for a while. I'm trying to create a platform that I could do 7 figures. So, but going from 6 to 7, that's different. And I always tell people trying to lose weight is different. If you're, say, 250 pounds, trying to get down to a healthy, normal range, than somebody that's already healthy and normal trying to do a bodybuilding show. That's extreme. The same tactics and the same mindset that it takes to lose that weight is totally different than somebody trying to do a bodybuilding show.
Oh, for sure.
It's much more extreme, much more diligent, and you really, really have to want it. So it's the same thing as making 6 figures and 7, I'm realizing. It's a different way of thinking. One, you're exchanging time for money. The other one, you're not.
So smart. Time freedom is the most valuable thing in the world. And just to me, being able to live my life on my terms.
Yeah.
That is my number one goal always, is to live life on my terms, to do what I want when I want, right? Especially because, and you are I would consider you in your bonus round of life. I just are my drug and alcohol treatment facility I just opened. It's called Bonus Round Recovery because I'm in my bonus round of life. Like, I should have been fucking dead. I should have been dead. Walking down the street, fucking homeless, drug addict. I should be dead. I put myself in so many situations I could have died, and I was saved, and I got a second chance at life. And so, like, last night when you text me and you were like, and we both said it at the same time, you get one life. And I'm like, fuck yes, you get one fucking life, and to live it to the fullest. And it looks like you lived your birthday to the fullest.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. I'm like, okay. You got strippers and all the money. I was like, okay, shit, living your bonus round.
Yeah. I mean, that's what, once again, those are the things that I like to participate in, but that's still not who I really am. And then sometimes, so I got my Joker backpack over here. And
I love it.
I associate myself to the Joker because sometimes, like you asked, is it hard? Is it hard to think about the person that I was? Yeah, because there's a side of me that, that's who I was. That is an identity of mine.
Right.
And then I got this new identity, and sometimes the two they go back and forth.
That's such a wild way to explain it.
Yeah, so sometimes,
makes sense.
yeah, that's why I don't want to associate to one thing. I'm not just a trainer. I'm not just somebody that wants to help people. I'm not somebody that just wants to have a good time and flashy. I'm not somebody that just goes to the gym and trains all the time. I mean, I was on Rodeo Drive and got 2 guys come up to me and they're like, "Oh, well, you work out?" And I was like, "Yeah, I work out a little bit." So then they start talking fitness stuff. It always comes up. Doesn't matter if I'm at a rave or a club, but that's not who I am.
Right.
Like I'm all of those things. I'm not just some tattooed missing tooth guy. I'm also the little kid that misses his mom. I'm also the guy that misses his son.
Right.
So it's, I do got a second chance, but sometimes people think that I'm not in pain because I'm very stoic and I just don't give life to it a lot. But we should just accept that we're all of those things and none of those things.
Wild way to put it. So we have to wrap it up. Can you tell everyone how to find you on your social media platforms?
Instagram, Josif, Josif 4, and then Iron Flex Fitness is my business page. And then YouTube is Letters to My Son.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
having me.
much, guys. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
Bye.